Okay, I think we are live. We're just waiting for some of you guys to come in. Okay, so today, as usual, we are on our Sunday houseplant hangout. This is my excuse to do plant chores while doing that with you guys. And yeah, I like listening to podcasts, and I feel like it's always a nice conversation where shared with fellow plant lovers if we do it together. So let's just give it a few minutes for some of you to come in, and I'm just gonna prepare the plants that I will be repotting. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hope someone could check and tell me if the audio is good. Because I hope this thing works. Mm-mm. Let's just wait for some of you guys to come in some more. What I've been hearing, my favorite YouTubers, is that it takes about a few minutes for the notification to go out. So we'll see. I think I pretty much did the information. I mean, spread it out so people know that we're going live at this time of the day. Okay, actually, I probably won't need this mat because I would rather use this and use my spare planters and expose my soil over here. I think that works out better. Yep. Okay, so there's a few of you now. Hi, Ergie, Deda, hello, Omar, hello. Welcome. So today we are going to repot some of the Hoyas that I received this week. I think the latest one was 4 days ago. Hi, Exri. Fergie says how I've been. I'm good. This week, last week was such a busy week for me at work. But I'm glad that we have the weekends off to de-stress, and that's what I'm exactly gonna do today. We are going to de-stress by repotting some of our Hoyas. How has everybody been, especially last week? Hi, Alejandro. What's up? Yes, work is hard. So I just wanted to check you guys. Is the microphone okay? By the way, we have a few of you watching. Welcome, welcome. So if it's your first time watching me, my name is Cyril. So if you could see it from the back, I'm kind of plant obsessed. I started my plant journey in 2018 when I moved here in California, and that's when I started acquiring plants. I've always been a plant boy since I don't know, 1990, I guess, in the Philippines. And I'm just sharing my plant journey through the years. Through the years, I have acquired a community of plant lovers. I've shared my creativity and my love for plants, and I show my day-to-day life with this plant addiction. So if you relate to that, go ahead and follow if you like that type of content. And I mean, if you're just passing by and this just came through randomly on your feed, well, hello. If you just need someone to speak in the background while actually doing plant chores, and this is the right avenue for you. Ergi, am I saying ergi? Ergi. It says it's good for air. I agree. I mean, let's debunk that. According to the NASA study, yes, plants do clean up air. But if I remember this correctly, don't quote me on this. I think you need about 12 plants per square foot to actually make a difference. I think we are doing pretty well with that status, but just having a few sprinkled throughout the house doesn't really dent the toxicity in the air. However, I would like to stress that beyond the scientific benefit, for me, a lot of it has to do with like the mental benefit of like caring for something or just doing something that makes you happy. Do you guys agree with that? So, are the plants from different countries? Well, most of the plants are quote unquote tropical plants coming from various countries, or they are native to the various countries or territories. So, I would say that I have a little bit of representation all over the world because other than the tropical plants that are even native here in North and South America, I have some Asian plants as well. And with my cacti and succulents, I have some representation from Africa as well. Um, Urgi says, is it my first time for a video? No, this is actually the second Sunday that I'm going live. So if you enjoy this type of content, feel free to join in again next week. I just posted a video about unboxing these Hoyas actually, but that was a few days ago. It took me a while to edit those, but if you want to reference that, we are actually doing the repotting. As I've shared on my video, I did this big mistake of immediately repotting a plant as soon as I got it from the mail, so which is not a good idea. And now I'm remembering that I also uh, like top watered it the moment that I got it. So that Hoya or that plant was a Hoya Kanya Kumariana variegated. We got another one because we're trying one more time, and we have another one as well that we're trying to root. But we are just gonna repot it mostly on the same substrate or soil mix, if you want to call it that way. um, that way, there's a little disturbance on the root system and the plant wouldn't be in so much shock. So Mala GW says, hi. Hello. Where are you guys from? Please comment. Oh, I would love to you for you to comment where you're watching from. Of course, type it in text, and then I think the phones automatically show us the flags of the countries or territories. So that would be fun. Louise Goal says, I think it says hi. Hi. Bradley says, how long did they all take to grow? Well, in general, it depends on what type of plant. There are other plants that grow really fast, wherein if it's just, even if it's just a few weeks or months, you would definitely see the difference. I like posting those types of plants on my Instagram, by the way. It's also at Cyril Cybernated if you aren't following me there yet, because that's where I really post the before and after pictures or videos rather. For example, like this one I got last year. So this is a Campharia. It's a variegated pink one. Last year there were only 3 leaves. I mean, a lot of the leaves got lost the past few months, but it has substantially grown. So if I do a comparison of how this looked like last year and now, there would really be a lot of difference. Plus, it's also something that constantly blooms. So there are bright purple flowers on this one. It's part of the ginger family, if you're familiar. So I like that type of plant as well. Okay, so since you are already watching and if you like this content, I encourage you to like that or click that like button as well. Um, so let me start. What I'll be doing is I will be sharing what type of planters I like to use. So I know a lot of you have expressed the curiosity of how I have been using self-watering planters. So I've been using self-watering planters, I think probably 2019 or 2020, since I fell in love with the technology because it helps me maintain all the plants that I have actually. Uh, so this specific design is what I like because it is white. It does have an indicator of the water level, and then you use a wick or a cotton cord for the plant to soak, get the moisture from the reservoir where you're gonna keep the water, and whatever substrate you have it in. Usually, if you are familiar with lechuza pon. I think it's a European mixture of various pebbles and non-organic materials. That's what we typically put in here. But the past few months, I have been experimenting and doing my own mix because I found out that, going 6 years using lechuza pon, some plants do not thrive long term. So I'm trying to come up with an alternative. Also, it could get expensive. So mixing it up makes, spreads or gives you more volume. Bradley also asks, what are the little ones on the table next to you? So these are the plants that I just got early this week. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to show you guys how I convert or, I repot them into my self-watering setup. Let me see if I could show you. Oops. One of the plants that are already acclimated and doing well in that setup. Okay, actually, let me just grab this. So this type of plant is called a Hoya. So Hoyas are typically Southeast Asian natives. There's a lot of types of plants, Hoyas there. So this one is a special one because it's inner variegated. So some plants that have variegation are more sought after than the regular green versions of them. So this is a Hoya curtisii inner variegated. There's also an outer variegated, a more splashy one, just the regular splashy one. And I have repotted it on this setup for a few months. I probably in about 2 months now. So as you can see, as the wick is submerged in the water, the plant just soaks up the moisture available through the wick. And as you can see, there's roots that are already growing in the substrate. I like this particular self-watering pot because I can see the substrate and the root system. I do have versions wherein it's also solid white and oops, you cannot see how the roots are doing. So it is quite important actually that you can see the roots because what I have been finding out is with Hoyas, they could be okay for a while and all of a sudden they won't like it and they just decline automatically. So I hope I answered that question. So I'm gonna start now. I think, oh, I was gonna show because on my Facebook page, a lot of people have been asking how I use the cord. So usually they come pre-cut, but what I like to do is tie a knot. If they're short enough, tie a knot so that the cord doesn't slip out of the pre-made holes. Okay, and that way, regardless of what substrate you have, the cord would stay on, right? Because I've noticed that others are just using like the wick, measuring it to around the exact same size and just relies on, I don't know, gravity and some prayers to for it to stay on. But for me, I like to tie a little knot. That way, if the substrate is on, it'll weigh down. And I like to make sure that the wick is really touching the bottom of the reservoir. That way, even if your water level is quite low, you don't have, it buys you time to repot, right? So let's start with a major one. I guess we will start with this Hoya Merillii Inner Variegated, which is a new purchase for this week. So what I'm planning to do, because as what I've mentioned on today's video that I posted, I got this from Sam's Hoyas. What I like to do is I like to make sure that there is less disturbance on the plant. So we will start with filling this up. I got this little cute shovel from Plenty of Excuses when we got some plants from her. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna get some, I haven't really thought this out, huh? I'm just gonna get some of my substrate. So my substrate currently has cocoa coir. It has some cocoa coir. It has some perlite. It has some leftover fluval stratum. It has some leftover lechuza pon. Um, Tree fern fiber is also something I mixed in because I have noticed that the Hoyas like that. So we're gonna put some at the bottom because what I'm planning to do is, so if it's about that tall, well, actually I need to squeeze or put the soil on this side because it doesn't look like it'll have enough to keep the thing on. So like to push the thing on this side, and then we're gently gonna squeeze the side of the cups to make sure that we're loosening it up. I would like to hold it on the actual stem. There we go. Perfect. It stayed in place. And then we're going to put it in the middle. Okay, now I'm realizing that it's actually too tall if I use this same thing. So let me make sure that I use the other one, and I'll just put the cord on the side, and I'll just put this on this one instead. So majority of it stays inside the pot. So see, it has a better fit. It doesn't overflow so much from the pot. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna backfill. I'm gonna put my substrate on the side, making sure that we don't disturb it as much, right? We're just gonna backfill on the sides. And now I regret taking my repotting mat off because I'm gonna make a mess. But I guess that's what the vacuum is for, right? We're just gonna vacuum it later on. And I'm also gonna backfill with my substrate. Now I did find some leca balls in one of my planters and I mix it on this substrate as well, hoping to make it more airy. But actually, if you have really small plants, I do not recommend leca balls because they take up so much space. And eventually, I mean, I would prefer to use it on bigger plants instead. And we're just backfilling every corner, make sure that there's some substrate on it. And then compress it a little bit. I think I'm satisfied with how that looks. And I guess it'll go here instead, right? So this is done. And we're just gonna fill it with water later on. The best for last. Hey, Fawn, it's nice to see you here. Thank you for your comments earlier today. I read all of those. And yes, if this was the best, which was saved for last on today's video, we are starting with the best Hoya for today's live. Haze Gray by SJ says, Hi, I just watched your unboxing of this plant from Sam's Hoyas. Yes. So that was a few days ago. That was Wednesday when I got it. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's been like 4 days. So I think it's enough. I was telling them earlier that with my bad experience of repotting a Hoya Kanya Kumariana, as soon as I got it last time, I already know that if I was to repot in less than a week that I got the plants, I would at least make sure that I won't top water it, especially on the self-watering setup. I'm just gonna bottom water it and I'm not even gonna wet the actual substrate. So that's what I've learned. So thank you for watching. I don't know if you saw the post on Facebook or you're a YouTube native over here, but thanks for joining us today. So one down. I mean, I still have one, five to go, but it'll be a fun conversation, I guess. Um, I have my coffee. I don't know why I'm having coffee at 3 p.m., but I love coffee. So, you know, grab your drinks, you guys, and might as well start with your plant chores as well. Or, while cleaning, go listen. We're going to try to make this an interactive live by answering questions. If you're not, at least you hear it on the audio. If you're not always able to watch all throughout, I mean, it's just going to be me repotting, anyways, right? Mm-mm-mm. I love my latte. Okay, so I backfilled this one already. So we might as well start with a smaller plant because that Hoya Mariliae was really a tall order to begin with. So I think we'll start with the next one, which is a Hoya crassipetiolata. I mistakenly said splash on my video, and I just realized that while I was editing. So forgive me for that. We try to be spontaneous, and sometimes you just miss ID the plants. So I did remember I watered this 2 days ago. So this one will be a little bit challenging. It doesn't have a big stem that I could cling, but ooh, oh my gosh, look at the root system. I hope it focuses. So I know at least that it is already well rooted because I've always been nervous about, a variegated grassy, and I am nervous that I would just kill it. So let me move it closer and I will just backfill it. So far, this experimentation chunky airy Hoya mix that I've been using lately, I have had no fails other than the ones that the variegated Mariana that rotted on me. So far, it has been a good medium to root the Hoya cuttings. I was telling someone that it even made me confident to um, just buy unrooted cuttings because the plants really responded well um, in this substrate. But we'll see if we're going to continue that streak, right? Because plants, and Hoya specifically, they are quite unpredictable. So we're just backfilling. I don't know why I like to torture myself with this little shovel thing, but it's so cute. I mean, I can't help myself. So I will backfill the sides. I'll make sure that, I do not disturb the root system because, I mean, it is already rooted from some soyas, but I want me to have a better shot at making this plant survive. I mean, it was a challenge, if you guys have ordered from Sam as well, please comment down below. You know how those live sales of his goes. It's really fast. I mean, you have to be super fast. The prices are insane, so you have to be on it, right? So I think we are done backfilling this. I'm not gonna be so OC by compressing, but I do want the rounded molded look of this Hoya to be gone, so that it doesn't really look like it's transplanted. Okay, there we go. I mean, it is a little bit raised. It's probably gonna need to be repotted in, I don't know, next spring, but for now, this will do. My concern is I don't want to pot it in such a big pot wherein, there's a risk of the plant getting drowned in all the substrate and the water, and, it won't survive. Okay, I think I'm gonna repot the Kanya Kumariana now. So we're gonna move on with another self-watering planter. I'll make sure that the knot I did was gonna be on the side because it looks like these cups are tall and they exceed my measurements. So I'm just gonna press it a little bit. Look, I wanted you to see the roots. I don't think they're that visible, but there are some roots. So we're gonna press it gently just to make sure that it is loosened up. This one I could hold the stem. It should pop right off. And the substrate I'm using is not so different. So I think Sam uses 100% tree fern bark, and I'm gonna use my own substrate. So this Hoya, unfortunately, will get a lot of the leca balls that got mixed on this batch. And I'm just gonna backfill the sides again. That way, we're ensuring that there's not a lot of disturbance. And I have to remember I won't top water this because I've watered these guys 2 days ago. That way they won't be drowning in all the excess moisture. Okay. How about you guys? What are you currently doing? Let me know so I have some questions to answer, and that way it's not just like I'm talking to myself here, which I am actually. But I know you guys are somewhere there, right? Somewhere across the world. Someone's watching. Oh, hi, Ate Peachy. Welcome. I think I know where you are. You're probably in your greenhouse right now, chilling, and hopefully doing some plant chores as well. So I was just gonna repot my plants from Sam's Hoyas. I mean, ideally, I would like to keep the plants acclimating for at least a week or something, but I also do not want to lose track of their watering schedule. So that's why I'd rather repot them now. Oh, you're filming. Okay, so you guys, I know you're probably subscribed to Peachy already, but if you aren't yet, follow and subscribe Plant and Style with Peachy here on YouTube, and encourage her to post some more on Instagram by following her on Instagram too. Because I told her she has so many plans, and fortunately, we see them through YouTube videos, but there are other people that exclusively use Instagram. So she might as well want to share those there as well. And I need your prayers because we have our other attempt of Hoya Kanya Kumariana here. So hopefully this one is the one that will thrive for us. Hmm. Hayes Grey Root says, I just switched to my Planty username. I have to stop watching purges and lives on Palm Street. I also got a Kanya Kumariana variegated and Marilia variegated this weekend. Okay, what was your username before? Do we know each other? Have we seen each other in person? Um, Girl, I feel you. Just yesterday, I secured a variegated Hoya elliptica, which is a dream. This is so bad, but I just saw it in person back in July. Ah, okay. He just changed by Gray by SJ. Okay. Now you did Haze Gray Roots. Okay, I prefer the plant username. However, no one's ever asked me why it's Cyril Cybernated. Come on, someone asked me about it. I would love, I've always imagined myself to answer this question. But yeah, Atepichi also says thank you. But yes, please encourage her to post more on Instagram. She has amazing plants. What's that? The Asianthus that she just propagated and rooted for me is doing amazing. I have to make sure those Hoyas on that corner are watered. There's just so much. Actually, just last night, I was thinking of reshuffling where things are in this plant room. I was even thinking of moving my entire modern shelving shelf because I feel like I can maximize it even more, and especially like improve my greenhouse cabinet situation. I have an idea. It's been in my mind for the last 4 or 5 months, or maybe even longer. But it just takes up so much energy to do. Coming up with projects, do right, make you know um, thinking about ideas is one thing, but actually gathering the supplies, doing, and then filming and showcasing your ideas or creative concept, it takes so much more energy. So that's where I'm at. But hopefully, there's a big change in my life soon, and I will have more time for myself and my creative pursuits. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. Oh, thank you so much, Ate Peachy, because you asked how it became Serial Cybernetic. I think that was such a forced question, but thank you for going going along with that trip. Okay, Hayes. So, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm already 35-ish, but 25 in my mind, right? So back in, I don't know, 2007, 2008, who had a MySpace account? Please comment your old MySpace username. And that is the short answer why it's not just username, but like your profile name. That's why it's serial cybernated. Because, during the scene days of like, the dolls and the emos and yeah, the scene kids, rar, and all that, um, everybody came up with their unique usernames that, had like a little rhymey thing with their actual legal names. So I thought like, ooh, my name's a little bit hard to find a little rhymey thing. Okay, like I know a friend who was named Emma, and she would be like Emma the doll. And I know popular one, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star was Jeffree Star back then. Who else was on MySpace? Like Tila Tequila. Um, so I was like, oh, let me Google what are good adjectives that begin with "sai" or so that it's serial Psy something. So, I bumped into the word cybernated, and of course, it's for me, it's perfect because it is my virtual life. Like Cyril in real life is converted into an online version. I am cybernated, like a robot or a cyborg. Back then in high school, I was Rusty Robot with double E's. So that's where we're at. So that's why it's Cyril Cybernated. It is an online version of me, which I hope the in person or the usual Cyril's version translates somehow. So there, I finally got the chance to share why my username is like that. Thank you for going along with my trip, right? So Hayes Grey Roots is sending me some good vibes for more time for myself and my plants. Thank you so much. We're definitely gonna make that happen. Fun was like I was just a little too young for MySpace, but Nexopia was the thing before Facebook. I don't even know about Nexopia. Before MySpace, there was Friendster. It was such a big thing in the Philippines too, where you wrote testimonials for your friends. So I'm sorry, Fawn, you are such a baby, but us older millennials, well, I consider myself like mid-millennial. Um, it was that thing. Yes, Tila Tequila, and she became a famous musician too. Hayes Grey Root says, "Oh my God, MySpace made everyone an HTML pro." Yes, and that is where I proudly um, have honed my HTML coding knowledge. And up until this day, I feel like that sparked my, curiosity in, the digital space. And combining it with your creative expression. So yes, if I could just write it on my LinkedIn bio, MySpace HTML code expert, I would have done that a while ago. At the Peach says it's awesome. It's so you, and Hayes Gray agrees. Friendster, yes. There was even Multiply, which to the young kids that are watching, it was just all about uploading, but it's like a blog site plus like an album of just all sorts of photos. Multiply used to be the thing, because you got to make your own blog, upload a bunch of photos. That's where I feel like the first fashion influencers, other than lookbook.com, came about, right? So, did you always just go by your legal name on your social media accounts, especially during MySpace? Oh, Hayes Gray says, I'm an elder millennial, Asian Avenue. Okay, good to know. Okay, so Kanya Kumariana is done. And I just realized that it's all three inner variegated Hoyas. Now we're gonna stick with the other two, or three. I was curious, I never really looked it up, but how would you pronounce Hoya? Boutii? Booty? Apparently it's an elbow marginata or an outer variegated one. But I didn't know I needed this until I came across this one. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna move. I now have a mess in this table, but whatever. Gardening is messy, so we'll stick with that. Mm, okay. By the way, I have been ordering all these planters. This is not a promo. I don't get anything, but this lady, Lisa Tram, I think she is TALI on Palm Street. I love her self-watering planters and all the 3D printed products that she comes up with. This is like my second 3-inch self-watering pot tray from her, and I love it. It's perfect. I think it's perfect. It will help me. I think I need to use this in my big Millsbo cabinet because honestly, it is so convenient. For now, I have everything stacked in a shelf, but if I put them on this tray, I think I could just take everything out, make sure it's watered. So I guess I will be replacing that one. Okay. Hi, that was so fun reminiscing. Well, look at the root system on this one. Hoya bootii, bootii, booty, big booty. Where is the end of this root? Okay, they just hugged each other. So we're gonna separate them. Squeeze on the side a little bit to loosen it up, especially this one. It has been rooting, and I just realized I didn't water this. There we go. Look at the root form on this one. Beautiful. Okay, I think I will position it a little bit further on this spot. That way, when it starts to lean forward and grow some more, it won't be so hard to keep this thing. I'm now realizing that whatever cutting I'm potting up this year at this point of the year, it would only last me like a few months, and I'd probably have to repot them to a larger pot because they automatically grow, and that means I have to upgrade the planters sooner rather than later. But you know what? I like that they are in this manageable size, so might as well. Okay, I do have what do you call that? Worm castings from Dirty Roots, which I forgot to mix in my potting mix, but I think I'm just gonna put them as a topper if it's not too late because I potted some. So do you guys use worm castings, or is it a bad idea because I'm adding more organic ingredients in my mix, and that means fungus gnats will have a party and a good breeding ground? I don't know why I'm hesitant, but also like I want to try how the plants react to worm castings. I wish I was just a 100% organic gardener, but when you live in a small apartment with limited space, of course, it's kind of hard to battle the pest situation as well. And okay, I think we're good with that. I think that's good enough. See, I like this one. I wasn't able to cover all the roots, but that's good enough. I think after I water that from the bottom later on, we're gonna see how that's gonna just settle in the plant. Okay. Any other questions? What are you guys doing today? Ate Peachy, what did you film today? I actually today I wanted to just do like a large leaf Hoya show and tell, which I think I might still do because I managed to put them together in this corner anyways. I'm not gonna. I hope not. I won't need to bring my Meredithii because I already showed that in my last live last week. But I'm gonna show some updates. right? So also, I think I need two more. And so if they don't come with pre-cut cords like this, because Lisa, she already sends pre-cut cords. I buy bundles so that I save more and I don't have to worry about, running out. Um, you could also just buy the cotton cord and just cut it to size. I have some, but these are really thick ones and they occupy a lot, especially if I'm gonna continue using these small 3-inch planters, right? So I'm gonna stick with the cords that they came with, and each one I came across only one defect wherein the planter did not have an indicator or a water level indicator, but everything else so far does not have any more factory defect. Yeah, I just really wanted to make sure everything's already in a self-watering planter. Yeah, I'm just looking around and trying to check which plant needs to be repotted. I think I've done a good job making sure that all the plants are potted up. I'm gonna save repotting the Hoya Jasminka and the Hoya Pachiclada fantasy that we got from Cactus and Exotics. So that one we literally got yesterday. Yes or no? Yeah, we got it yesterday. So I wanted to give it more time to acclimate, and we'll probably save that for next week to repot, right? Okay, we have so fun is saying currently driving home from a baby shower for one of my good friends. One of the people that came brought plant props for everyone. I grabbed a Hoya carnosa. Wait a minute, a baby shower and then you have plant propagations as giveaways or just as, what do you call that? Potluck. Isn't that cool? Is everybody a plant person that attended or that's just some saint of a plant lady that just wanted to spread the plant love? That's amazing. So Ergi says, can you sell them? Sell what? My plants? Well, I know I could propagate majority of them because they are decently sized now, and I realized that the past few months I have been taking snippings and gifting them to friends. The more that I snip them, the stronger they came back. So that is kind of encouraging for me to make a lot of propagations, but also propagations mean they take up space, and that means more things to water. So I don't know if it's just a fresh cutting, I would sell it for cheap for sure, just so I could propagate my plant. Hayes Grey Root says Cactus and Exotics were live yesterday on Palm Street and it was not good to my wallet. Girl, I know what that feels like. I have amazing plants. I have always, looked into the lives every now and then, and Jesus. Okay, Peachy's another one who's addicted to Cactus and Exotics. Shout out to, I think, Brad and Philip, if I remember their names correctly. Um, Shout out to you guys. That was just a saint of a plant lady. Really? Ah, okay. So I hope one of my friends get pregnant real soon so I could be that. I don't know if I'll be invited to a baby shower, but I could be that crazy plant person who would just be bringing cuttings. Actually, I might as well just do that at the office. Because I just want to share the plant love. They've always asked me about cuttings and water propagation, and I've casually answered them. But I feel like I could take their knowledge to the next level by giving them more responsibilities. I mean, a lot of them have water propagation sitting on their desks already, but I think it's time that I give them other types of plants. They've done well with syndapsus, with some philodendron cuttings. I think I could bring them some more. Hoyas, they don't appreciate so much because, I mean, we have a regular Hoya carnosa in our office, which has always bloomed, but, it's not, the foliage isn't so striking for a regular planty person. So I see why they don't have so much interest on that. Haze Gray Roots, that's so awesome. That's so awesome fun. I'd love to get some Hoyas when I go to a party. I know, even if it's just a Carnosa or a tricolor or just any free Hoya. Okay, there's this. Okay, I was telling you guys about Hoya cuttings at work, right? So in the neighborhood where we work at, there are some residential houses, right? So every now when we go for our breaks, we go for walks. And casually, one random day in the afternoon, we were walking and we just saw this big box that says free cuttings. And we looked at it and it was mature Hoya cuttings with like really thick stems. So it has been, it's, those heirloom Hoya plants. I think those were just regular carnosas. Um, but, the size of the leaves were amazing and it's not sun stress. So we took the cuttings home, not home, but back into the office. And we have been keeping those on water propagation. And early this year, I think at the end of spring they started blooming already. So I think it was less than a year ago. But no fertilizer, nothing. We could barely remember to top up the water level, the reservoir of the bases that they're on. But those Hoyas bloomed like crazy. Haze gray roots. They were live for 8 hours, I think. I mean, if I have hundreds of plants, I would just be live all day, every day, and just show people, regardless if they buy it or not. Honestly, that's also like something I would like to deal with. A few years ago, I did lives for Palm Street and whatnot as well. Um, just live selling the plants of my friends, and it was so fun. I could talk all day, but also I would like to have like a lot of plants to grab and a lot of variety to offer, right? That would be so cool. Fawn says sprinkling baby dust to your friend. I don't know. They have to be married, of course, so that it's so easy to um it's so hard to raise children at this economy. Maybe Ate Peachy wants another kid. But yes, that would be fun. I haven't. When was the last time? I haven't really attended a baby shower ever. Or I don't recall. No, it's not usual, I guess, for me. Yeah, because my friend, when they got pregnant, I moved to a different continent already. And when I left the Philippines to start um, working abroad, my friends were just getting married and none of them were having kids yet. So, yeah, it was wrong timing for them. They missed out the opportunity to invite me. Okay. I forgot to even tell you, we repotted the Hoya Carrii, Carrii. On my video, I forgot to mention the double I's. And honestly, this Hoya, I mean, it's gonna put out two more leaves, and I hope it doesn't, blast these new leaves. But this Hoya, didn't know I needed. I swear, it's so dark, velvety, and the leaf shape is so unique. So look it up. The pictures online that I've been seeing are not nowhere close to the velvety dark leaf. I don't know how Sam was growing this one, but it's super cool. It's not sun bleached like what I've been seeing on the other photos online. Hayes, I agree. So Hayes says it looks like an anthurium. Yes, it actually has that. That's the perfect description. It has the velvety anthurium texture on the leaves. I just want to pet it. I'm excited because I'm gonna have the other set of leaves soon. Maybe in a week or two. We'll see how that grows. Hopefully, it'll stay like an anthurium leaf for me. And I want to proceed. Actually, I should have used my other phone because I want to make labels too. This one was from Kathleen. My friend Kathleen is at the Hoya Habit on Instagram. She does story sales as well and sometimes posts on Hoya groups. Insane. She sent me this one. It's a Hoya Pimenteliana outer variegated. So I think it's time to put it on its own self-watering planter. I just spotted it up on this one. Are we seeing roots? Let me see if I have roots already. I don't think so, but it is moist, so I did just water this in the last 2 days. And that's my fear that when I have them on these same cups, because I like to repurpose the cups that I get from Sam, I might not remember to water them, So it's just easier that I transfer them in self-watering planters. Well, actually, we have roots already. Ugh. Why I'm not doing this with a better potting mat? I don't know why I tossed the potting mat earlier. I thought I wasn't gonna be messy, but it is becoming messy. There we go. We managed. Okay. I'm gonna keep this a little bit in the middle. And I'm gonna get some more substrate. What was your guys' last purchase? I know, Hayes, you just got a Mirillii and the Kanya Kumariana as well. But what is everybody's last plant purchase? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be asking that because I might be enticed to look those up if I don't know about them, and then I will fall in love, and then I'm gonna end up buying them. But where I think when we receive that elliptica inner variegated in the mail later this week, that should be the last for a while, the last plant for a while, because I really do not have space anymore. It's not realistic. I am thinking of offloading some of my anthuriums. Like yesterday, I just discovered that a lot of my seedlings have passed because honestly, I do not have the bandwidth to care for more anthuriums. And I already know that this winter they're not going to look cute anymore. So I'm just going to enjoy them while they look cute, right? Okay, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our sixth Hoya. Let me make sure. I think it's not too late. So these little things are also my favorite thing to thrift at the thrift store. Sometimes they're $2. Sometimes if they're really cute, they're $3. But they're actually perfect to house. These tiny containers. Actually, you know what? Let me put my potting mat. He says, "Did you get a rooted elliptical variegated? I just got a cutting and I thought it wouldn't make it, but the seller gave me a good advice for rooting it and it has baby roots now." Actually, yes. I really opted to get a rooted one because okay, call me a late bloomer, but I only got a variegated, a regular elliptica early this year during the plant show in February, I think. So I've always wanted one. It's probably 2, 3 years late, but I waited till they were just like $10 for an established cutting. So I have one and it's doing so well. I think it even wants to look like an elliptica splash. So when I saw the inner variegated in July during the Bay Area Hoya event, I fell in love because any Hoya that's inner variegated where it's so yellowy, delicious like these, that is what attracts me to their foliage. And like I will show you some of my favorites now. So that's why I really opted to get a rooted one because I'm so scared for it not to thrive. But please comment what is your rooting tip for us because I got 2 nodes. The bottom one is already rooted, but I might chop the top one to make some more. Um, because I know like when there's 2 nodes or more, it wouldn't look like that full. So we'll see. Please comment so that like we could review that. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna check if we can repot some more. I'm looking for the plant projects that I could do like right now, not sharing. Not repotting the ones that are less than a few days old. By the way, Speaking of thrifting, Hayes, I know. Okay, Hayes says, I think you would like the SP Ache Ladia Galaska, inner variegated and veiny. Yes, actually, that's also on my wish list. Shout out to Ate Peachy. She already got one. I just realized that with all these inner variegated purchases the past month, I could have afforded a Ladia Galaska as well, but that's probably the last one on my wish list for this year if I could still find a decently priced one. But yes, that's definitely on the top of the wish list right now. Other than, yeah, I got the inner variegated Kodata already. So, I'm not that in love with a Kodata Argene, but I think the inner variegated Kodata is what I would want more. So yes, that's the top of my list. Speaking of list, I mean this variegated Anthurium vitarifolium has been on my list too, but I want to share this thrifted giraffe planter. It's 3D, you guys. This giraffe is sticking out of this safari situation. And when I reverse image searched it from Google, it is from a Japanese artist. I mean, I found some. Well, actually, I realized that the ear looks chipped, but it's fine. They only retail for like 20 bucks, but I definitely got mine for less. And it's the perfect planter for my variegated Anthurium vitarifolium because once it starts trailing, there's going to be a little bit more height and the reservoir would be long enough, tall enough so that it doesn't need to be watered that often. Yeah, Ladia Galaska. That's amazing. I need that in my life, honestly. Let me just move these. That's also on my wish list for sure. And I might as well just show you because we're not repotting it anyways, but I'm gonna show you the other Hoyas we got this week. Okay, I'm just really hoping that this Kodata is already rooting. So far, it doesn't look like it's rotting, but I will show you. And I will show you the other plants that we got this week, but we are not repotting it that just yet. I think that's it, yeah. Okay, so yesterday, or I think, yeah, it was yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday I got a Hoya Polynura Jasminka from Cactus and Exotics. Has some water stains, but look, I needed a Jasminka in my collection, so they sent me one, and it's in a cute Labubu planter. And also, they sent me their Pachiclada Inner Variegated or Mutation, which is their Pachiclada Fantasy. Isn't this cool? So this with Aladia Galaska, Hoya Heaven, also in a Labubu planter. Thanks, Ate Peach. Up with a lid to give it 100% humidity, and it worked. Ellipticos sometimes struggle with shipping. That's what I heard. So since I'm just getting it from a local person, I hope it doesn't get too stressed. Speaking of inner variegated, I do have the inner variegated Kodat, also in a baby Labubu planter. So I think it's still alive. Although the new leaves were, yeah, they dried up because I was turning and I was turning this little thing. But I'm trying to look for any sign of roots. So far, nothing visible on the outside of the cup yet, but come on, little baby, do something. I don't want you to rot, okay? I think the top leaves are still surviving, and I did not refill the reservoir because I don't want it to be soaking and rotting. So that's where we're at. I'm really scared to just cover the entire thing with a cup because sometimes I've had bad experiences wherein my plant rotted because of the lack of circulation. So right now, the safest approach that I tend to just do is to put them in this greenhouse cabinet so that I know there's still a fan inside. That way they have better chances of surviving. Question: do you think that I should just pot up this unrooted cutting that I got and just pot them together here? Because I'm trying to get a full pot anyways, but they do look a little bit different. As you can see, this one's super variegated. This one's more ripply, and the leaf shape is a little bit different. I guess I'll keep them separated for now, right? Because I'm just gonna wait for this one to have roots anyway. Still no roots. But I think I could cover it with more soil on top to encourage branching. Root it first. Yeah, I agree. But see, this one's nicer with the variegation. Which one would you prefer? Like this one with more stable green, ripply, larger leaf, or this one which is more round but more variegated? I think that's why I needed both, right? I'm gonna leave this here so that it'll root for the better, hopefully. Okay. And I did get a Denisi Frida that I'm starting to root. I can't believe that this Nabawensis, I'm gonna show you this Nabawensis, is already putting out another long stem. I got this as a one leaf, or was it one leaf or two leaf cutting? But it's a full plant. Now I understand the Nabawensis, what do you call that? The Nabawensis hype. Because doesn't it remind you of that Stardust houseplant? The Milky Way something, because it is variegated, inner variegated, but there's splash in the margins. Well, at least on this one that I got. It's super cool. I got it from one of the local Hoya meetups. Mm, and I need to report this to Ate Peachy because my Hoya clamshell was massacred last time we were out. When as soon as on the same day that I got it. But it's finally putting out the tiniest baby leaf somewhere. I don't know if you guys could see, but I think we're gonna have a full on. Well, it's putting out two stems now, so I have better chances of rooting this one. Thank you, Hayes. She says your Hoyas are also cute. I hope they actually grow larger, honestly. Next year, I'm hoping that they will be decently larger. Ate Peachy says, oh yay. Okay, so guys, this is the part where we convince Peachy to go live simultaneously with me. Or no, we'll do like a she should co-host, right? While she's also doing her plant chores next week. I mean, I didn't notice this, but we are already live for an hour and 4 minutes. My goal is like at an hour and a half. But I was able to repot. I could even do more if you guys will be asking. And then if Peachy would also be doing chores on her end, we would have more interaction, right? I think that's a good idea. Comment Peachy, please, so that she'll go live with us next Sunday. Um, yeah, next Sunday. So that at the Peach, you should just do a greenhouse tour, or we could do show and tell. Which reminds me, I will go with my original plan of showing and telling. Okay, these are my. See, like, how convenient is this tray? I need more of these. I will show you that everything's just free flowing, free positioned on my mouse bow. I wanted to like really change the layout But I wanted to show you my big leaf Hoyas here because I just transferred or put new trellises on them. So that's why they still look funny. So don't judge. My Hoya elephant. So it has more leaves, but see, it's still funky looking because we haven't adjusted yet. Oh, Ate Peachy will try. So someone comment, please, Peachy. We need to see her greenhouse as she's doing her chores too, right? That would be more fun. So I am repotting, or I have, oops, I have, I put a nicer trellis on my Hoya elephant to encourage it. Unfortunately, is it just me, or you guys are also experiencing that they tend to blast their new leaves this at the slightest inconvenience, I guess. Haze Gray Roots, this is really nice. I like the live, Ate Peachy. Mag-join ka na, sabi ni Haze. See, Ate Peach, like it would just be something spontaneous and it will be interactive, just like how we are in person. Like we talk about plants, we geek about it. So it's just like FaceTiming, not just me, but we'll share it to the world though, right? I have to show you guys this Hoya. It is the Hoya verticillata SP Bogor. I will be sharing my cutting to Ate Pearl, Planty Pearl 27, who's also like my Hoya enabler. Are we getting a new stem? We are. Okay. Look at this. Grabe the leaves. Oh, Peachy's agreeing already. Timestamp at 1 hour, 7 minutes. We got to convince Peachy. It took about an hour. But look, my Hoya verticillata SP Bogor. Look at the abs that we don't have, right? Or I don't have. Why am I speaking for you guys? And then I'm just waiting for this leaf to harden. I'm gonna send her this. It's the one filled with so much aerial roots. And I think we're gonna get new stems here. I need to get a better trellis. Super. Look at the absy, absy, absy. I'm discovering an appreciation for the verticillata. See, ang ganda, no? It's so ganda. It's so beautiful. I'll also, at the Peach, let's trade. I'll give you a verticillata too. I could chop it somewhere. I have one more node. Ay, it's also starting to stem out. Perfect. Yeah. Because I need to keep it on a manageable size. Just go, this thing is already full. But actually, what I'm super proud of, oh, by the way, thank you to my friend Kat. Thank you so much for all the carnivorous plants that you made pamana for me. Cause that was the Hoya verticillata SP Bogor, Bogor. I think close to Indonesia. Or Malaysia. Territorial battle. Okay, I'm gonna show you this latifolia. Just God, this. I just transferred this on this trellis yesterday. It was such a task because this trellis, if you could see it from the back, it used to be tan. And Casa Plants gifted me the trellis last time we were there. Hold on, I need to water it. Oh no, it has some water. But look at my Hoya latifolia. Well, they call this Hoya latifolia watermelon, but yeah, I see the watermelon pattern, but it just looks like my regular latifolia. Pero look at the leaves. The leaves are larger. I mean, still smaller than my hand, but this one. So we'll see how this adjusts to this new trellis. It was just climbing this wall behind me on its own. So I love. She said, oh, sige, you can pick what you want for. I don't know. Okay lang yan. we'll we can trade whatever. Basta yeah, I when I got this, I didn't really appreciate the beauty because oh yeah, there was some little abs. But when it got darker and it became splashy, wow, the potential. But yeah, like this one as well. When I got this, I was like, what the watermelon latifolia? Like, how is it different from the latifolia? But it looks the same, but maybe it's just a growing condition. You guys know how it is. Like They entice us with all these different nomenclatures and names, kuno, but they might be the same, right? And of course, I have my regular macrophylla, but one more. This one's hopefully gonna stay in this trellis for a while. Sarawak. It's just starting to grow because I just got it this year, but look at the veining. I'm obsessed with the Sarawak. You should check Kawaii Crops' Sarawak because hers is goals. I hope I get mine to mature that big. Maybe for give me a year or two, and if it continues to be happy, right? And oh my gosh, I'm just gonna this one, the last one, promise. This is such a huge one. This one is from April of unsolicited plant talks. Ooh, this is the Hoya SP PNG 432. I had one in 2020. I still remember that feeling after winning the bid on eBay. What do you mean you can't keep one alive? Of which one? The Sarawak? The Sarawak is always so nice. I got my first one in 2020 and I think I need to get it again. Okay, okay. That's interesting because I have been seeing a lot of people sell Sarawak. I didn't think or I did not know they had the reputation that they were hard to keep alive. This one even arrived a little effed up in the mail because I'll show you the broken leaf. It was hardening, so of course, automatically. So that's why it kind of disappointed me that the newest leaf was, cosmetic damage. And then it just grew 2, 4, 6 leaves. But yeah, the shape is so cute. So hopefully, or maybe at the peach, they don't like the greenhouse situation. This was just, I just hid it in the back of my shelf and it thrived. Honestly, I think because Sarawaks are Latifolia family too, right? So I think with a lot of neglect, they thrive. Mm, so yeah, Hayes, what killed your first Sarawak in 2020? That was my hesitation when when you get large leaf Hoyas, it's the space. But yeah, like with the Hoya SVPNG 432. This one I know that they become huge as well, but I love the yellow green leaf. It looks a little wonky and weird now because I was letting this trail effortlessly going up, but you know what? You have to keep it at a manageable size. That's why they look funny like this. But you know, some sun stress there, it was stressing really nicely. Look, it was stressing out really nice. But I don't know, I hate it when the leaf turns upside down and people ask me about it, but maybe it's time for a chop. But once they reposition and grow some more leaves, I will definitely chop them. Haze Gray says, I think you're right. I had it in a cabinet. Maybe I should keep it at ambient. Oh yeah, because at first I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I got it in soil. It was rooted. I could see from the clear cup. And I didn't immediately repot it, in a self-watering planter like how it is now. I think I left it for about a week or two before I repotted, and then I just left it here in ambient. Some Hoyas, I mean, I only keep them in the cabinet if they're small enough so that they are like in the, NICU, to enjoy better growing conditions. But once they're big enough, they get booted out of the greenhouse cabinet so that they have to thrive outdoors. Okay, so let's put that back, and then let's put back this verticillata bogor thing as well. Once that's hardened, because I owe at the pearl a cutting of that. I have been procrastinating because I'm lazy to cut when they're growing, but I like to wait till they harden. But yeah, oh my gosh, oh. I've seen another girl with an amazing Sarawak plant. I mean, I get the hype. It's so cute. It has like the latifolia, rounded leaf, but it's splashy, and then it has some like lighter green highlights or something. Super cute. So I hope I get more leaves on that one. Okay. Gonna move. And of course, the Hoya elephant. I'm gonna make this grow forward and baby it some more by putting it in here. Jeez. It's like playing Tetris. Okay. I don't know. My goal is just to get this macrophylla to flower. Once I get that to flower, I'd be satisfied. There, back. Okay. I thought I had something to repot in a larger pot as well. What happened to what was that leaf? Oh, it's starting to turn already. So, what's your growing condition, Haze? Do you have multiple cabinets, and what type of plants do you leave outside in the ambient humidity situation? Because Ate Peachy has her greenhouse, she still has her cabinets. I only started to have grow cabinets this year. Oh no, last year actually, when I gave in. Um, but before that, everything used to be in ambient. But I think the cabinet situation is calling me honestly. Like a lot of the plants, they do so much better with cabinet humidity, of course. We're almost done with our coffee. Okay, this will be an exclusive because I saw that my recent Amazon purchase. Let me show you guys. I have to post it on my Instagram and caption it like, "What do you do with your adult money?" Well, I have to buy new batteries, but it's a little motorcycle. I could put my labubu here and actually drives. Oh my god, I need to buy new batteries. I need to look for decent batteries here in one of our cabinets. But isn't this cute? Just go, what am I doing with my adult money? If only my cats could fit in here. Okay. Hayes says, I have one cabinet and most are on a shelf. I did get a tiny tabletop growing tent for props, and all of my plants from UPT are in ambient because they are so big. Lol. But they thrive. Lol, that's awesome. Don't show Cassie. Oh my god, if Cassie, if you're watching, ask mommy to buy you this little ano ba to? Vespa, like little Vespa motorcycle thing. It lights up, it wheelies. So later, I need to buy or get some new batteries, and then I'll put this on, and then my little Labubu would be driving across the room. Hopefully, my cats are awake now. They have been napping. Nako, I didn't realize that the battery was on all throughout earlier. Okay, that's the power off. But isn't it cute? Oh my gosh. Let me put this back. What do we do with our adult money, right? It's super cute. For those that have a Hoya amicabilis silver, am I overstressing this Hoya? Look, does it look sick to you? Or is it too yellow? I don't know. It's supposed to be amicable silver. But I feel like I see a yellowish tinge. But it does look silvery on the camera. So I don't know. I probably need to look at the old pictures. So far, there's roots busting out of the pot, but it just doesn't look healthy to me. Hmm, looking at my grow cabinet, I'm just checking. Oh, another thing. Do you guys use beneficial insects? Because I am working with DMV beneficials right now. We are trying to address all the thrips situation, the mealy bugs as well, and some gnats. And that's why you see a lot of their um, cucumeris sachets. I have them on here. And I even have their green lacewing larvae. Don't maybe too close to the light. Yeah, maybe ate. I need to move it farther. Give it. I'll move it back to the thing because it's too bleached. I want it to be a little bit darker and more silvery. And it had a peduncle already, but it just dried up because that's probably it. It's too close to the grow light. Mm, I need to move the Asianthus thing. Oops. Okay. I just realized I had to water some of the Hoyas here in the shelf. Yikes. But I'll show you what Ate Peachy was. See? What's this Hoya again, Ate Peach? Asianthus? Something? Look at the chunky, curled leaves. She grew this. Super dry naman na. Yeah. I have to repot. I mean, water. Look at that Hoya. So cute. Oh my gosh, we are nearing an hour and 30 minutes. So that will be my limit. I need to make sure that it's less than an hour 30 or just a little. If we could even do under an hour, but that's good. But if PG and I will go live next Sunday, actually, we will because she said yes, right? So we have to make sure that we manage our time well. What should we do? We should do show and tell, ate. Like, what are our favorite Hoyas? Maybe do different categories, right? O Asian toidies. We'll do like our favorite splashy Hoya, favorite variegated inner or outer, very favorite small leaf Hoya. What do you guys think? We're just gonna do a category game. We can show and tell something like that. So it's there's structure and there's also like free flowing conversation. Are you game with that, Ate Peachy? That way, like there's some structure. I know you like to. I also like to have a plan. So we'll do like showing our so show and tell our favorites, our favorite plants in various categories, something like that. So for example, your favorite small leaf Hoya. So we show our small leaf Hoya if we have, both, or at least the closest one in that category. And then your, like favorite variegated something Hoya. It could be a Hoya or any variegated plant, or like your favorite bloom at the moment, or even if it's not something that you have on hand, we'll talk about like our current wish list, something like that, right? Or we could just do a tour of your greenhouse, and for me, my plant room. We could talk about that. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna ask Kat to watch this live. And this is again her caryotamitis. Hers is looking so much more amazing than the ones that we got. It has a lot of the the fibrous thing though when the leaf unfurls. Mine isn't doing so well. I mean, mine's okay, it's alive, but it stopped putting out new leaves. Not compared to what Cat has. Hers is a full bush. Let me pull mine up here in this corner. Oops. It is working on a new leaf though. But here, this is mine. Anna, it's dry. It hates being dry. So see, this is mine. Mine is still trying to push out its first leaf. I know it took a while for me to like this one. It'll take another month or two to unfurl. I promise. They are very slow. But look at cats. Hers is effortless. What the hell? Like hers is so bushy. Mine is just lanky. But it started improving its variegation after showing nothing. Haze Grace. She says, "What is that?" So it is a Caryota. Let me look for the I'm sorry. It's a Caryota mitis variegated or variegated fishtail palm. So this is the baby version. I forgot to bring something to water the plants with. Actually, yeah. So I have to make sure that I leave it outside here so that I remember to water it. And Cats is here with water. Okay. Yeah, variegated fishtail palm. It is so cute. And my variegated tetrasperma is still alive. Oh gosh, okay. Ate Peachy also adds to wish list. Yes, you should have one. Where did we get that from? Oh, we got that from Kelly of HD Orchids. So capital, I mean, letter H like hotel, D like disco or delta. Orchids on Instagram. She sold those to us during our orchid show, and that is our friendship plant when we first met Peachy or at the Peachy in person. So the plants are going strong, and our friendship is also going strong. So yes, I think you need to have it. It is quite easy once it's established, and then it is rewarding. I mean, mine doesn't get like the highest light. However, it keeps its variegation so far. And I noticed that a lot of people are having appreciation for these weird palms now. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't be able to keep up a big palm tree inside, but I mean, so far, as long as it's manageable, it's small, um, you know, it'll survive. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So last minute and a half. So I guess that was it. Just to recap, we managed to yes, Ate says she loves them. We managed to repot our starter Hoyas. What I'll do offline is I will make sure to bottom water them and put them back in the cabinet. So I'll just let the plants soak up the moisture. I would not top water them because that will put them at risk of rotting. I did that before. So I think I'll just let them acclimate for a bit. And then next week we will be going live. I will make the thumbnail already and schedule that live with Peachy and me. And I think she has virtually agreed that we're just gonna do some show and tell, sharing our favorites, and also do question and answer. We'll plan for about an hour and a half the most, because that would be a Sunday and we have like Sunday dinners to worry about and, preparing for the week ahead. So that was it for today's live. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you are on Team Replay, please comment your favorite emoji, planty emoji, that is, if you've gotten to this point. If you're not following me yet, it is at Cyril Cybernated on Instagram. You are watching me on Facebook, right? Or on YouTube right now, so might as well. And also join the Cyril Cybernated Facebook page because it's quite a mess, a chaos there. There's a lot of back and forth with fellow plant lovers all over the world. The algorithm there for sure is a little bit different than the rest of the platforms. So I hope you enjoy your Sunday and let's get ready for another week. Take care, plantitas, and ingat. Bye.